Hello everybody, my name is Pfajfr and I am working in Citrix as automation engineer. During this session, I would like to show you how you can write your test for Microapp integration. For our integration test, I choose the Jira integration and we will try to change status of created ticket. So, first of all, we need to create a ticket in a system of record, synchronize our data, wait for the feed card in a workspace, change status of our ticket, and in the last step, we will validate that status of ticket has been updated in a system of record. And that's it. For building our integration test, I will use automation template and Microapp's automation helper. The automation template is just template repository on Github and it contains all necessary setup for you to be able to write and run your test. And Microapp's automation helper, it's npm package which provides you some common functions to test the Microapp's integration. And now let's go to the VS Code. Okay, so if you use our automation template, you can start write your test immediately, and I will show you how. But before that, I would like to just go through some parts of template repository. So let's start with GitHub workflow template. This template helps you to run your test in GitHub CI. You can use scheduling, you can use, for example, the manual trigger of your pipeline, and it will help you to set up all necessary dependencies, run your test, upload artifacts, or send notification to Slack. And the last step is send report to Power BI. And the next important thing is this one. It's init.ts, and in this file we are handling for you the logic of initialization of the browser, so you don't need to make the initialization in each test, and this will make automatically the initialization for you. And also you can find here the function create screenshots. This function will generate the screenshot for you and save with the name of the test and name of the step. Okay, so let's go write our test for Jira integration. So first of all, I will create a file for our test. For example, jira.test.ts, and I will paste some simple template. You can see I'm importing it, step and run from our init file, and also you can see some test steps for our test scenario. So in describe, we have a test Jira integration, and the test itself, it's change status of the ticket. So let's go for the first step, and it's creating a ticket through API in Jira. For this, I prepared some small helper class for Jira API. So let me import the Jira API class from helpers, Jira API. This class is not part of the package and also is not part of the automation template. I will prepare this only for this demonstration. So let's go and make initialization of the Jira API class. And now we have access for methods of the class. So you can see that we have a couple of methods, but now we will use the create Jira ticket. This method don't need any parameters, so we just call the method and it will generate for us the ticket. But to be sure that everything is going well, we should add some simple validation. And I think that we can just validate the status of the response. For this, we can use expect library. It's a standard assertion library and it's coming from, it's part of the jest. So you don't need to add, install anything. It's already there. And we just expect that response status to be 201. And now we have some validation that a ticket has been created or not. If not, we will receive error message in console if we run our test. Also, we need to have the ID of the created ticket. So I will add one variable, for example, ticket ID. It will be the string. And if everything going well, we will get the ticket ID from response data, and it's a key. Okay, so now we have finished the first step. Now let's go for the next step, and it's getting Citrix Cloud Bearer token. Okay, so I will copy the step and change the name of the step and remove everything from the step. So how to get the bearer token? Now it's time to use our Microapp's automation helper package. So I will just add the package and I will import the Citrix Cloud class. As I mentioned before, this class contains some authorization methods for Microapp's admin or Citrix Cloud. So now I have access for all methods of the Citrix Cloud, and now we need to use the get cc bearer token method. Okay, you can see some mandatory parameters like API environment, customer ID, client ID, and client secret. Client ID and client secret, how you get those parameters. In Citrix Cloud, in a section API access, you can generate your secure client and you will receive client ID and client secret. Okay, so with those parameters, you will be able to generate a bearer token. So I need to import config file. It's from config.ts, and I will get all those variables from config. So let me fulfill the function parameters, and I will get everything from a config. So let's say that this is coming from config. Okay, so I will add a new variable, bearer token. It will be a string, and we will receive the bearer token from this method. Okay, so that's it. So we have the bearer token. We can continue with the next step, and it's create authorized instance for Citrix Cloud API. So I will create a new step. I will change the name of the step and remove the legacy code. Okay, how we create the instance? We will use the Citrix Cloud class, and we will use a method create authorized instance. To this method, we just need pass a bearer token as a parameter, bearer token from previous step, and this method generate for us the authorized instance. So I will add a new variable and we are done with this step. We have the instance, and we can continue for next step, and it's delete credentials from credentials wallet for our integration. This step is mandatory because part of our test case is step, action, authorization, or outflow. So to be able to test this step, we need to delete the credentials. So I will add a new step. I will change the name for our step, and now how we can perform this action. To be able to perform this action, we need to import a new class from our helper package. It's Microapp's admin class. So I need to make initialization of our class. And now we have access for all methods of Microapp's admin. We are looking for OAuth logout method. So this method delete the credentials from credentials wallet. If you see, there is some parameters which need to be passed. So first of all, we need to pass the auth instance, because we need to use Microapp's admin API, the Microapp's admin URL, name of our integration, is name of our target, and there is an optional parameter, repeat count. Sometimes you need to perform this action multiple times, so you can use this parameter, but this is not our case. So I will put the instance. The URL I will get from config file, and the name of our integration name. In this case, it's Jira integration. Okay, so now if we perform this action, it will delete the credentials from credentials wallet. So we can continue for the next step. Now we need to sync our data. So we will use again a method from Microapp's admin, run synchronization. Okay, you can see that we have some parameters. Again, we need to pass the authorized instance, the URL, the name of the integration, and the synchronization type. You can choose from full or incremental. In this case, we will use the incremental synchronization because it's faster. So I will set the instance, the URL, the name of our integration, and the synchronization type. And the synchronization type will be incremental synchronization. This function is responsible for running the synchronization and also wait until sync is done. The method also contains some check because sometimes maybe the synchronization can be cancelled, or maybe there is some another problem and the synchronization will fail. So in this case, the method will handle all state of synchronization. Okay, finally we can go to the workspace. So I will add a new step. Login to workspace. Okay, to be able to log into the workspace, we need to add one new class. It's workspace class. And again, we need to make initialization. Of our class, and now we have access for the methods of workspace class. In this case, we are looking for login method, and we need, because it's finally this method operates in UI, we need to pass a page as a parameters, and workspace URL, workspace username, password, and workspace identity provider. The identity provider is really important because each, as you can see, we support AD, Netscaler, and AAD identity providers, and for each IDP, we have a different login flow. Okay. So I will pass page, the URL of the workspace, username, password, and IDP. All those parameters can be found in our config file. And yeah, it's enough. So now this step is done, and it's handled for us the login to the workspace. So let's go for next step, and it's waiting for our feed card. Because we are not sure when the feed card will be available in user feed, we need to somehow wait for the specific feed card. Okay, we can use method from workspace class. So I will create a new step, wait for feed card. And this method is available in workspace class. Okay, so we will wait for feed card ID. So this function or this method will make a request to the notification service, and if match our feed card, it will return us the ID of the feed card, and we are sure that the feed card is available in user feed. So to be able to identify the feed card, we need to pass a record ID. For record ID, we will use ID of created ticket. And yes, because in some cases we are not able to identify our feed card only with record ID, we will use also the notification ID, but I think that in our case the record ID is enough. Okay, so again, this method will check if the feed card exists, and if exists, it will return us the feed card ID. So I will add new variable feed card ID. It will be string, and we will receive the feed card ID from this method. Okay, so now we know the ID of our feed card, and we would like to open or click on the feed card, on created feed card. So I will add one new step. Click on created feed card, and to be able to perform this action, I will use function from helpers which handle this for us. So I will just need to add the helpers. Again, this is not part of template. I just prepared this for this test, and we need to import click on feed card. Yes. So we will use the function, and we need to pass page as a parameter and feed card ID. Okay, so this function just click on our feed card, and we can continue for next step. And now we need to change the status of the ticket. We change the status to in progress. Okay, again we have a function in helpers for this. Change ticket status. And we need to pass a page and the status. And we would like to set status to in progress. I will just double check the function. Yes, so you can see that it's going to the blade, and click on button to change status. Wait until the button will not be disabled. Not the button, but the select itself, and after that it will set our expected status. And also there is some validation that the value in input has been changed, and after that it will just confirm or submit this action. Okay, we are selecting the value in a select by the label. It's one of the nice feature of Playwright. Okay, if we perform this action and because we delete the credentials from a credentials wallet, we will invoke the action authorization or flow. It means that we just need to make a login to the Jira and authorize the action. Okay, so I will create a new step. Action authorization, and now we use the function for sign in to Jira. I will import this function from helpers, and we can now use the function. Okay, as you can see, this is a multi-window scenario, so it means that there is a new window, and to be able to handle multiple windows, we need to pass a context. Also, we can see that there is some logic which handle for us the multiple windows. Okay, so we will pass the context and username and password to the Jira. I will get the username and password from config file. And now we just need to assign the parameters to the function. Okay, so again, we perform the action, we go through the outflow, and now we need to check that the action has been done. So we make two checks, one in front end and one in system of record. So to check for checking the front end, we will just wait for pop-up, that pop-up message, successful pop-up message has been displayed. So I will create a new step. Wait for success message. And how we check the message, we use a method from workspace class. Wait for pop-up. Okay. To this method, we just need to pass page as a parameter and text, what we are looking for. So, because we are expecting the success message, I will put text, your request will be processed. Okay, so we made a front-end check, but we will also make the check in a system of records. So I will create a new step. That assertion that status has been changed. Okay, for this step we will use the Jira API, and we use the method assert Jira ticket status. We need to pass the ID of our ticket and the expected status. So in our case it will be in progress. Okay, so now I think that the test is ready to be run. So before we run our test, I will just prettify the code, and now we can run the test. You can run the test in headless mode or not. I will choose the headless mode, but we will see everything in terminal. Okay. So let's go and we will see. Okay, so you can see that we already create a ticket through API for the Jira. We generate the bearer token. Also, we create the authorized instance. We delete the credentials from the wallet, from the credentials wallet. And also the synchronization is done. Now the test going to the workspace, and now we are waiting for a feed card. So it may take some time. Okay. Okay, we get the feed card ID. We open the created feed card. The status of the feed card is changed to in progress, and now we need to go through action authorization outflow. You can see that it's also done, and our two checks, front end and check in system of record. So the test passed, and yeah, that's it, that's all. So I hope that this session helped you have a better overview how you can use our package, how you can write your integration tests, and I hope that you enjoy this coding with me.